Welcome back, and happy Monday to everybody here on a nice Monday edition of the Purple Rain Podcast. Thank you for starting off your week with us. Yes, there was no Ravens football to talk about, but in the sports world, it all went down. No matter how you wanted to, look at it, soccer, UFC, basketball, hell, even baseball, it happened this weekend. But for Ravens talk, an old foe of ours running his mouth a couple other players on podcasts talking about this upcoming season. But first off, you know where to follow us here on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. Discover here on Instagram or on X at SunDef. Me, Instagram simply as10.prod, X simply as10. And if you have not already, like the video, let us know how you're feeling in the chat. If you are not subscribed, subscribe already if you enjoy the content. But yes, a jam-packed weekend indeed. Honestly, that was a long weekend. I'll tell you this right now. I watched a lot of soccer. I watched every World Cup game. There's a game going on right now. I have it on my phone. But I know you had a big event last night. We'll talk about that. But how was the weekend overall? I feel like it was a good weekend, I want to say, if I had to guess.
It was okay. It was okay. And the reason why it was just okay for me is because the New York Knicks won the NBA Finals, and it's not even just so much that they won, it's that the Spurs lost in the fashion that they did. We're going to get into the NBA stuff and, the other, World Cup and UFC White House that went down last night. We're going to get into that later on in the show, so make sure you stick around for that. Or if you're part of the replay gang, shout out to you. Of course, you can skip around with the chapters feature. That's always a good, good look down there in the for the YouTube features. Anyways, listen, we got to get into the latest news and narratives regarding our Baltimore Ravens, Alex. Like you mentioned, an old foe got on his own podcast. His name is Big Ben Roethlisberger. And he said some things about the Ravens, because what he was doing was, and let's go ahead and transition over here, Alex. What he was doing was, he was saying that, he was giving his picks for the Steelers this upcoming season. And when he got to the Ravens, he said something very particular about the Ravens and how he feels about them. Let's just take a listen really quick, Alex.
The 1 o'clock Sunday game, but it's the first time we see the Baltimore Ravens.
Gosh, that's late.
Home. Yeah.
I want to see where you play. At home?
At home.
I think they're falling apart. I don't think they're the same team. So right now,
Harbaugh's gone.
I'm W.
Yep.
Win.
2 W's.
Yeah.
They just feel different. They feel like their window closed.
Hey. Week 16.
All right, Alex, you heard it there from Big Ben Roethlisberger. Apparently, the Ravens' window is closed and they are falling apart. The only thing, before I toss it to you, Alex, the only thing that they, gave as a justification for why the Ravens are falling apart is that John Harbaugh is no longer in Baltimore. Alex, how do you react to Big Ben?
This isn't the gotcha that you think it is. I hope we aren't the same Ravens as last year. I hope we don't start 1-5. I hope we don't blow a lead of 15 points in 4 minutes in the first game. I hope we don't see our quarterback go down because our offensive line is absolute ass. I hope we don't have the worst ranked defense in the league with the amount of talent and the second most expensive defense in the league. I hope we don't go 8-9, and I hope we don't miss the playoffs. You know what? You're damn right. These aren't the same Ravens. They aren't. And I don't think any of us here in the chat, I don't think you or I want them to be the same team as they were. Because what were they before? Underachieving. Choking when it mattered.
Yeah.
Not playing players with their strengths. So yeah, Big Ben, you are right here. These aren't the same Ravens, but I just don't think you have it right. It's just interesting to say that about us, and you look at the Steelers, and once again, I think they have a great defense. But at quarterback, what is the plan? What's the plan? Aaron Rodgers again? And we've put up the stats. We've talked about the stats. His 2 best games were against us. Congrats, the worst defense in the league. That's not the flex you think it is either. So yeah, it's interesting for him to say that, but he's 100% right. These aren't the same, and I wouldn't want to be the same Ravens. So thank you, Ben, for pointing out the obvious, I guess. I mean, I don't really want to look too deep into it, but that's not really what we want. If somebody sat here and said, all right, I'm going to tell you how the Ravens season is next year. Imagine your typical Ravens season. Would you be happy? Would you be excited? I know I wouldn't.
Right. Yeah, no.
I know I wouldn't. You would probably beat the teams you're supposed to, lose the teams you shouldn't, and somehow crash out in a game we've seen years before. Much like the Spurs-Knicks series, you'll see the same game over and over again, and the result won't change. So yeah, I guess he's right. Big Ben's right. These aren't the same Ravens.
It's not the same Ravens. And, you know, just really quick, I still don't understand for the life of me why John Harbaugh gets so much of a pass. Like, he is so protected and adored by literally everyone else who is not a Baltimore Ravens fan. You ask anybody else who's a fan of this league, they will tell you that if John Harbaugh retires tonight, he will be in Canton tomorrow, which I think is like, bro, it's crazy to me. I mean, yes, he has a Super Bowl ring, but there's a lot of context to that Super Bowl run that not a lot of people talk about. You know, the mutiny in the locker room with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and all those dogs, those alpha males in there that John Harbaugh had to get rid of, right? Directly following that, had to get rid of those. It was his way or the highway, right? And then, yes, the ship was pretty steady until it wasn't, i.e., years from 2015 to 2017? The boat got really, really rocky, extremely rocky, to the point where he almost lost his job. But then Ozzie Newsome, on his last year as being the GM, he said, you know what, John? I'm going to help you out. I'm going to send you a life raft here because you're about to be on your way out the door. I'm going to draft Lamar Jackson. No, let's trade back into the first round to draft the future franchise quarterback. And that man, Lamar Jackson, number 8, undoubtedly saved John Harbaugh's career and his time in Baltimore, saved his job. And most importantly, it really saved his legacy, right? Because 8 years later, John Harbaugh, again, is regarded as a coach who, like I said before, if he retires tonight, he'll be in Canton tomorrow. That's what everybody else says, besides Ravens fans. So with that being said, it's like, I don't understand why. And here's the other thing I was going to say, Alex. I don't understand why after all these years, after 8 years, Lamar Jackson has been the one constantly taking the heat for, the Ravens playoff struggles and whatever struggles the Ravens are having. The media always aims the gun at Lamar Jackson. They do. They have for years now, for the past 8 years. And John Harbaugh just kind of got off scot-free. And that's why you have guys like Ben Roethlisberger getting on his podcast and saying, oh, they lost John Harbaugh. So, I mean, I don't know what this team's going to look. I think they're falling apart. Really? Really? Because everything that I'm hearing coming out of OTAs, minicamp, just the players speaking in interviews and things like that, this unit is getting closer and closer and tighter by the day. And everybody is buying in to Jesse Minter. And everybody's ready for a breath of fresh air, a new day, a change, right? So I just don't know where Ben Roethlisberger necessarily gets off saying the Ravens are falling apart and their Super Bowl window is closing. Because like you said, Alex, look at the Steelers. If the Ravens are falling apart, then what are the Steelers, right? You did all that. You swept the Ravens last year. You made the playoffs and got trounced in the first round. And you parted ways with Mike Tomlin after making the playoffs. You talk about falling apart, and then you hire Mike McCarthy, who has fallen apart multiple times as a head coach to the point where he got fired. So, I mean, what? Big Ben.
Giving us headaches even off the field.
Jeez, man. Migraines, man. Guys, please listen, like the video. If you have if you have more sense than Big Ben, like the video, which I know is a lot of you watching right now. If you're watching live right now, shout out to you. Thank you for joining this episode 415 of PRP. If you're part of the replay gang, like the video. Also, hype the video. We'd appreciate that. Comment down below what you think about Mr. Big Ben Roethlisberger's comments here. I honestly think that it's like a prime June take, to just say something about the Ravens, especially if you're Ben Roethlisberger. I don't know how often they do this podcast. It feels like they don't do it that often, maybe like once a month or something like that. I'll see like a clip. You have some intel on that?
During the season, I know they do a lot more.
Yeah.
Having some Steeler buddies always send me clips of it. Like, it's definitely, more prevalent during the season. It's probably, the schedule release one. But yeah, footballing or whatever it is. Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah. Right. Like you brought up, it's lazy. And maybe it's because the media isn't really reporting, I guess, the quirky stuff, I want to say, the end of practice stuff, the camaraderie we're seeing. compared to other teams, maybe with first time head coages on teams that are underwhelming, like a Cardinals and teams like that, like the Bears. I know Ben Johnson was getting a lot of love when he took over, and Caleb Williams. But the Ravens, you don't really hear much about the Ravens. The only time we've heard about the Ravens with the OTAs with minicamp is when Lamar is not there. Nothing else, and that's damning in itself. I feel like the only time you hear about us right now is if our quarterback isn't there. Nothing good. Nothing about the team has this fun little activity at the end. It's just nope. We'll just pass along the Ravens. Let's talk about the Raiders and Mendoza and Clint Kubiak. Let's not talk about that. And it's fine. I mean, that's just how it is. But are we expecting Ben to pander to his Steeler watchers and say the Ravens are going to be a good team? I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, we're expecting a little bit of, just some good journalism. It's not going to happen. And like I say here, so I think they're falling apart. I don't think they're the same team. They just feel different. They feel like their window is closed. To me, losing Harbaugh, King Henry's a year older. His body's taking a beating. What was going on with Lamar last year? He just didn't seem like the Lamar that we've been used to seeing. This King Henry a year older stuff we heard when he just came to the Ravens. We heard that when we signed him.
Washed Henry. Oh no, we're not scared. You remember that talk? I remember that. Yeah.
Then they use him to discredit Lamar's 41-4 years.
Yes.
Makes no sense.
Yes.
I thought he was washed.
The goalposts are forever on the move, Alex. Forever on the move. Wow.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Lamar didn't have the best year last year because look at his O-line play. It wasn't good. And listen, he wasn't, elite by any standards, but let's be real. We saw he was playing hurt. Look at those first weeks when he was healthy. Balling out. Even the Lions game, he was throwing some absolute beautiful balls.
Yeah.
But he was getting hurried every other play. It wasn't pretty. So, let's rebuild that line. Let's give him a new OC. Let's cook. Yeah, this is just very lazy from Ben. I expected more from him, especially.
I would have definitely expected more as well. And, just the whole comment about, King Henry's a year older. It's like, okay, isn't Aaron Rodgers also a year older? And, by the way, he is 10 years older than Derrick Henry is. His body was taking a beating last year. He freaking broke his hand or his wrist or something like that. Who knows what's going to pop up this season? He's got some, of course, no more Myles Garrett in the division, but he's got some dogs coming after him. Trey Hendrickson is still in the division, right? Jared Verse is now in the division as well. He's going to have some guys coming after him this year. It's not going to be easy pickings for Aaron Rodgers. By the way, they don't have George Pickens. They replaced him with Michael Pittman. They picked up Michael Pittman in the offseason. I believe they drafted Jeremy Bernard. They drafted Max Ayanakor, the right tackle. So they got a couple of decent pieces, right? And then, who's their running back? Rico Dowdle. Okay, not bad, but are we really going to say 31-year-old Derrick Henry is not better than however old Rico Dowdle? You know what I'm saying? Like what are we really talking about here? King
and
Henry go ahead.
Kenneth Gainwell was a freaking dog for them last year. Their best offensive player. Yeah. And he walked.
Yeah, a couple people walked. Kenneth Gainwell out of there. Calvin Austin no longer a Steeler. Isaac Suamalo, the guard, no longer there is either. So I mean, we're talking about, it's the pot calling the kettle black here. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we really doing, Ben Roethlisberger? And again, like you said, I expect better, but at the same time, I don't, because it is like a Steelers. You go to the comment section on that Ben Roethlisberger podcast. It's all like, Yinzer Nation. You know what I'm saying? It's all Steelers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I get it. It's going to be super biased, but to just write off the Ravens and say that they're falling apart when literally everything is coming together makes zero sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, the offensive line was ass last year. We addressed it in the draft. We addressed it in free agency. John Simpson and Venga Ioane, right? Harbaugh seemed like he did not have control over this locker room. I mean, the culture wasn't culturing like it had in years past. So he had to go. We got rid of him. Steve Bisciotti made it very clear. I mean, John Harbaugh, did anybody tell Big Ben Roethlisberger that with how bad the Ravens defense was last year under Zach Orr, John Harbaugh wanted to bring him back and just run it back for another year? Did anybody do you realize, Big Ben, your team's quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, like Alex mentioned, had his best games against that defense. And John Harbaugh said, our biggest rival that we played twice, sometimes even 3 times, including playoffs, Yeah, they just whooped up on us twice. I mean, really made us look bad on defense. But no, I want to keep that same defensive coordinator. He's on to something, right? Did anybody tell Big Ben that? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. God, Alex, man.
I got to add one to that. Did anyone tell
Sure.
Big Ben who Aaron Rodgers had arguably his worst game against?
Talk about it.
The Jesse Minter-led Chargers defense.
Now we're really getting down to the bottom of it.
I guess he forgot about that one too.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers did not have a good game at all. Like you said, his worst game was against a Jesse Minter-led defense. And now Jesse Minter is leading a defense that has even more talent than what he had at his disposal in LA. So again, I ask you, Big Ben Roethlisberger, where do you get off saying that the Ravens are going to lose? I mean, and fall apart. I just because I think they actually picked them to sweep.
They did.
I think Big Ben,
sweep.
yeah.
Both.
Big Ben said sweep. I think one of the guys said that they would lose in week 18. But you know what's funny? I was looking at an NFL Network segment from about 3 weeks ago where they went through the Steelers schedule and they had the Steelers sweeping the Ravens. So
Good.
I mean, yeah, honestly, again, like I mentioned like last week, bro, the Ravens are about to hurt a whole lot of feelings this year. And, you know, a healthy Lamar Jackson with new coaches and just kind of like a fresh outlook on just the team in general, right? It's not the same old stench with Harbaugh, not the same old Ravens. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. It's a totally different regime now. And I think that, you know, yes, we are as Ravens fans doing a lot of speculating and hoping, right, that this does actually work out. But if we look at it logically, there's absolutely nothing that would tell me that the Ravens are going to be that certainly that they're going to take a step back. Like, well, there's nothing that tells me the Ravens are going to take a step back and be worse than they were last year. That just doesn't make any sense to me. None at all.
And even it backs you up even with the schedule, because we're not playing a first place schedule either. So we're playing, for the most part, second place teams, and we're playing, you know, weaker divisions than we played before. We aren't playing, you know, the NFC North. I think that's a good division. And then we had the East last year, the AFC East. So now we're playing the NFC South, where literally any team can win that. You know, there's no standout team in there. There's no far and away better team. And then you have some just question marks there. So Ben, come on now. I expected better. I really did. But disappointed but not surprised with old Big Ben. So
disappointed.
You know, I hope Vegas disrespects us as much as everybody else has for our own gain.
Fair. There. Yeah. Honestly. Real quick, we do have about 84 people watching live right now across platforms. 85, that is. Thank you guys so much for coming through to this episode live of the Purple Rain Podcast. Please be sure, leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. So if you're part of the live chat or you're part of the replay gang, here's what we're gonna do. 5 seconds to like the video if you've not already. If you're part of the replay gang, also hype the video too. And then we got a super chat donation, but silence here. 5 seconds. Like the video. All right, appreciate you. If you've liked the video, thank you so much. If you have not, please consider. We'd appreciate that. As Modi is dropping the 5-piece in the chat, making it rain here on this episode 415 of PRP. As Modi says, no way McCarthy's crusty ass can make them competitive. He manages to choke as bad as Harbaugh. Even current Steelers hate on Ben. That is true. He's not really all that beloved by every single Steeler, you know. And really not even all of Steelers fans. There's a lot of, you know, Big Ben detractors out there. There are, you know, even ones who live in and around the Pittsburgh area, the Yinzers, right? But yeah, I mean, like we mentioned, I just don't see where Ben Roethlisberger can say like, oh, I mean, Mike McCarthy, he's going to come in and he's going to turn up the Steelers team. We're going to go win over 12 games this year and we're going to sweep the Ravens and win the AFC North. It's like, on what grounds? On what grounds? I mean, you got, Mike McCarthy teaming back up with Aaron Rodgers, but this is not 2015, right? It's a whole decade later. The whole league knows Mike McCarthy and his tendencies. You can study it. There's film, right? His habits. You can study that. You can't study the head coaching tendencies of a Jesse Minter. You want to know why? Because his first year as head coach. It's his first year as head coach in a league that is now shifting. The paradigm is now shifting back towards running the football and defense. And what do the Ravens do best? They run the football and they play defense. I know the defense wasn't great last year, but all signs point, literally every single sign points towards the defense making a major leap this year. That's why they got Trey Hendrickson, right? That's why they still have Travis Jones, and hopefully Nnamdi Madubuike comes back, and Calais Campbell's on that line, and a former second-round pick, should have been a first-round pick, Mike Green, is on that line. Not even to hype him up too much, but there's just so much talent. Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, right? However you feel about him. Nate Wiggins, Marlon. There's just so much talent. And then you go in the back end. Malachi Starks is looking like he's going to take a step forward. That's what they've been saying that coming out of minicamp. Malachi Starks is looking really good. Jalen Hawkins just played in the Super Bowl last year. He's a Raven now. Again, I'd love to have a sit-down chit-chat with Big Ben about this and really kind of like ask him, all the things that we're saying right now, and ask him if he feels the same way, because at the end of the day, bro, he can say, because that's the other thing he said. He said, Lamar Jackson, he doesn't look the same. Well, why did he look that way last year? That was weird. If you even research for 2 minutes, 120 seconds, that's all it would take, maybe even less. Why was Lamar Jackson not looking the same last year? You can type it into Google. They use AI now. I promise you don't even have to do the extra digging. It'll tell you right then and there. Lamar Jackson said in an interview that he was hurt in the week 2 game, and he was never right since then. He just said that a couple of weeks ago. But Ben Roethlisberger, who's been, doing whatever this offseason, is not paying attention to anything football, but he hops on his mic and says whatever the fuck he wants to. Excuse my language. But it's just crazy. It's just crazy to me. It's insane.
I just took your advice. I typed into Google, why was Lamar Jackson bad last year? AI overview. Lamar Jackson's struggles were primarily caused by a combination of nagging lower body injuries, inconsistent pass protection, a struggling run game, and unusually high turnover rates. Turnover, it was bad for him. It wasn't, Matt Schaub level, but it was high for Lamar. And there's your answer, Ben. Really wasn't that hard.
Wait a minute. Wait, how much did that cost you to search that up?
Nothing. It took me about 5 seconds to type it in.
Oh man, Google. That's right. Google is free. Google is free. You can get on there. You can ask it anything you want. And like we said, there's AI built into it now. You don't even have to be smart to find what you're looking for. You know what I mean? Just like
there, it gave it to me. Saved a lot of time.
Right there.
A lot.
Right there.
Of time.
Thank you so much, Asmodeus, for your super chat donation, brother.
To go on about Mike McCarthy real quick, his last playoff appearance, they were down 27-0 at halftime, or before halftime, at home to the Packers and Jordan Love.
A young
Aaron
Jordan
Jones.
Love too. Yeah.
Aaron Jones had his way with that Cowboys team. And just to not talk about him, about Mike McCarthy, the amount of talent he had in Dallas, I think they were one of 3 teams with like 12 or 13 wins in a row to not reach a conference championship. He has a limit. Mike McCarthy, he has a limit, just like John Harbaugh. You have a limit. You know what you're going to get. You know what the peak is. You know you're not going to get over the hump with these guys, but they did it before, and kudos to them. They slayed the dragon before, but since then haven't gotten close to it. But
we've seen
the Ravens,
ceiling.
Man.
We've seen the ceiling. That's
not the
just
same
the
Ravens.
thing. It's not the same Ravens, man. It's not the same Ravens. It was never gonna be the same Ravens. And I get it. Ben Roethlisberger, he's probably got his podcast monetized just like we all do and things like that, and like bringing in the clicks brings in more engagement. So these guys aren't. This is what we have to understand, Alex. A lot of times, especially and this is why I like what we do here a lot, because like we'll do the due diligence. We'll look up things and like we'll make sure that we're not just like talking out of our ass completely. You know what I'm saying? I know we have our takes. Everybody has their own opinions and stuff like that, but like I wouldn't just say, oh, the Steelers are falling apart without first doing my Googles. Like we mentioned, Google is free. We just confirmed that just now. And actually doing my due diligence and making sure I know what the heck I'm talking about. But these guys, they're not trying to make sense. They're trying to make dollars. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? They're not trying to make sense. They're trying to make dollars. And that's what Ben Roethlisberger is doing, by saying things like that on his podcast. Oh, the Ravens are falling apart with literally no basis to his argument. John Harbaugh's gone. Okay. If that's the case, the Giants are about to win the NFC East, right? Since he's so damn good. Yeah. Since he's such a great coach. They should sweep the Eagles, right? Sweep the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Again.
Derrick Henry old. But TJ Watt old. You can use that argument for anybody. Everybody's a year older. He has shown no signs of slowing down. And that just makes, that's how you can tell. There's certain arguments. I know, like, when you're at work and you hear, like, a sports argument. Well, He's old. I'm like, all right, Derrick Henry, really? Like, this is what we're doing. Derrick Henry's
Come on
old.
now. Exactly.
The guy literally puts in hundreds of $1,000s into his body. That's why he's one of the best running backs this league has ever seen. But we have more to talk about than just Ben Roethlisberger. We have Ravens players to talk about and what Ravens have said. So we'll move on from old Big Ben.
Yes, we will move on from Big Ben. Before we do, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel as well. We'd appreciate that. Over 100 people watching live, so shout out to you guys. Hello, this is the Purple Rain Podcast. If this is your first time joining us, my name is Sutton Def. This is my co-host, Simply AS10. We are live every Monday and Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every other weekday at around the same time. You know, I go live for Quiet Storm Sports. So I also saw somebody say in the chat, I think it was my guy Ryan, he asked if we're going to talk some UFC in this episode, and we definitely will towards the end. The White House card was last night. We're going to get into that. But here, I want to talk about this, Alex. I saw this on Glenn Clark Radio. Shout out to Glenn Clark. He had an interview with Emery Jones over the phones, and Emery Jones had a couple of interesting things to say. Most namely, I don't know if I talked to you about this last week, Alex, but Emery Jones got into a scuffle with Zion Young.
Yes.
Did we talk about that with Ramey? I think we talked about it with Ramey, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We touched on it.
Okay, so here was Emery Jones talking about how that came about, and you know how it really was a good thing.
You know, it's funny. We bring that up for people that don't know. There was a story going around about you and Zion getting into it. Did you know Zion at all? Like, we could tell just from one phone call he was an intense dude. Like, we could tell just from watching it when he got drafted. Did you know him at all? And then, like, is it as simple as, like, as soon as you guys get separated, you just, like, you know, hey, man, yeah, let's do, like, how does that work when something like that happens?
I feel like, you know, as a lot of coaches, especially on this level, and I'm pretty sure, you know, college level as well, preach next play mentality. You know, and coach made it clear at the beginning of starting minicamp that, you know, any fights or anything like that, you get kicked out of practice. So I think we both did a good job of, you know,
appreciate the weird beard.
Point of playing on the wire of, you know, super intense, you know, competing at the highest level, but also knowing not to step over that line. So no pressure was thrown. Neither one of us got kicked out of practice or nothing like that. So I think it was a little bit of a respect thing. You know, I feel like we both kind of got chippy with each other during the play. You know, after the play, bumped heads a little bit and got back in the huddle and went back to the next play. So I think it showed a lot of maturity for both of us to not throw a punch and not, you know what I'm saying, get too deep in the emotion and just keep playing ball. So, yeah, we dapped up after and we kept it kicking. You know, we had a great day today. Third down day, so, you know, the D-ends, the D-line, they be feeling themselves a little bit. So it was fun today.
All right, Alex. So you heard there Emery Jones talking about how it's all good between him and Zion Young. He thinks it was actually a good thing. What do you take from that?
Well, 100% is a good thing. I mean, you want that competitive nature, and in those trenches, I mean, I expect that. I'm glad that we kind of got insights, you know, there won't be any fighting. There probably won't be punches thrown, as we heard. You're getting kicked out of practice. And that's probably for any of them, but it's, you know, good to hear from ours that that's not condoned. And I like that, you know, pushing and shoving, I get it. It's football. It's hot. It was probably, 85, 90 degrees, going back and forth at each other. Heads are hot, no pun intended, but that's kind of what I want from, first off, my offensive lineman who's fighting for a job, and number two, my rookie defensive end who we had as a first-round grade. So, yeah, I love all aspects of it, and like we've talked about, Zion Young most likely will get into a scuffle come joint practice time. If we could bet on it, we would, and we would make money off of it. It's going to happen. Yeah. He's going to piss off offensive tackle to the point where they're going to want to rip his helmet off, and that's fine. He won't start the fight, but he most certainly will end it. So it's just good to hear, and especially from Emery Jones, like, we all have high hopes for him. I feel like he should have been a starter last year, and he probably right now is fine, maybe feeling a certain way because he's not a starter. You know, if we were to give our starting five right now, he may not be in the starting five, and that's fine, but he has every, I think, ability to be in that. So he's fighting for his job. Zion Young's fighting to impress himself. Iron sharpens iron. I have no problems with this whatsoever. I love it.
Yeah, spot on. I mean, iron sharpens iron. You hit the nail on the head right there, Alex. I mean, and it doesn't just mean that in the physical sense, right? It's also in the mental sense, right? So these guys going at each other and jawing at each other, like, I think it brings them closer together. The fact that they were able to dap it up afterwards and like everything was cool, you know, and also the fact that they weren't afraid of the conflict, right? Remember when we had Femi Ayanbadejo on the show a couple weeks ago, and he mentioned, what is it, the 4 C's?
Yes.
You know, and one of those, it was like communication, collaboration, but conflict was one of those. And like conflict was like an important pillar of, those 4 C's, into kind of having good, a good relationship or whatever, so I think that's what he kind of meant. Now that I'm thinking about it there, I mean, you have to have conflict so you can resolve that conflict with somebody and you can collaborate with them, what their triggers are, what they're thinking or feeling and things like that, and it allows you to work better as a team, as a unit, so I absolutely love it. I mean, I love the fact that, again, Zion Young is a rookie. He's not like just a suitcase holding rookie who's just gonna shut up and do what he's told. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the guy who's like, nah, like I'm rah-rah, I'm in your face. I mean, I'm year one, but who cares? I'm here, right? We both in the NFL, like, I'm here. I'm supposed to be here. I belong, right? I love that energy from Zion Young. And I also love it from Emery Jones saying, hey, look, no, you're not about to, come up in here and just think you taking over. Like, no, like, I don't even need Roquan or Calais Campbell to check you. I'm gonna do it. I'm only year 2, but I'm gonna check you. I love that energy from Emery Jones. They're both two young players. I mean, I can't say enough about it, man. And I can't wait for the joint practices, like we said.
Yeah, bring it on. Especially Emery Jones. Like, he came in some pretty big spots last year. I think he was on the field one of those final drives, I think, in the Steeler game when we scored. So he has the high pressure stuff, fighting for his job, and he'll make the team. I feel like he has to make the team, but fighting for that starting position, he is, kind of everything to lose at this point. So go for it. Go for it, Emery.
Tila in the chat saying, let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's do
Let's
it.
get it.
These boys want August to come around ASAP, preseason, regular season, and they're tired of it already, and it hasn't even started training camp.
Yeah. Love the energy, though. Love the energy. So Emery Jones went on to talk more in this interview about Dwayne Ledford and Declan Doyle. Let's take a listen.
And like getting to know a little bit more about Dwayne Ledford, who everyone has raved about, and what he's done throughout his career and the various places that he's been. What's something that we should know about him and about a Declan Doyle offense that you've learned so far?
I feel like Coach Doyle's offense, like, everything is kind of calculated. Everything that we're doing, from the way that we block, from the way that we have receivers coming in and helping, or whatever we're doing, everything is very calculated. So I would, if I was a Ravens fan, I would feel pretty happy, with having him around, having him kind of controlling the offense. And then Coach Ledford, just a great dude, man. I feel like he's really gaining the trust of the O-line. I feel like his philosophy is something that we kind of all stand by and something that we all believe in. So, man, I'm super excited, to have those guys be able to work with them, be able to share the field with them. You know what I'm saying? It's just been an honor to be around them.
You've been obviously in a spot where a year ago you come in a little bit behind, but you jump right into the mix. You get that chance to compete and get on the field. Now there's obviously some new faces in the mix at guard, right? And of course we know what you can do at tackle. Do you find yourself now like trying to be more of like a jack of all trades? Do you find yourself trying to, like, I need to be able to play almost any position along the offensive line? Is that more of your role? Is it more defined than that?
Man,
why is he into sentences like
who
that?
I'm trying to be is the best team player, they can be around. Whatever coach tells me to do, whatever he needs me at, I'm gonna get my ass in. I'm sorry, excuse my
You're
life.
good. You're
I'm
good.
I'm gonna get in there and do my best at it. So I feel like whatever is becoming is becoming. But I feel like coach has a lot of confidence and he likes how I'm versatile and can play a couple positions. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep building on it, man. Keep getting better at whatever he's telling me to do, whatever he's asking of me, and just keep going like that.
How many of
Yeah, so I mean, you heard Emery Jones saying there that, I mean, he's just ready to do whatever he needs to do to get on the field. He did mention in here, like, center's probably not in the cards for him. Dwayne Ledford also said the same thing, so I think we can officially take that off the table, right? That's not happening, right? You can axe that. But guard is on the table and tackle is on the table. Yeah. Now, of course, the Ravens do have bookend tackles right now with Ronnie Stanley, if that's what you want to call it, Ronnie Stanley and Roger Rosengarten. And then the guard spots seem to be locked down by way of paying John Simpson all that money. You got to start him, and then you draft Venga at 14. So, and of course, he's not playing center, so he's kind of like odd man out right now. But I am perfectly fine with Emery Jones as a backup guard. Like, if somebody can't go 1 week, I am so comfortable with plugging in Emery Jones at left or right guard. I just am, and I think he has the mentality of, like, staying ready so he never has to get ready. So I do believe that, when his number is called on, Alex, he's going to be ready to go.
Yeah, and if we run the heavy packages where we bring in a 6-0 lineman, could very well be him. He can get around, so that's interesting. But he talked about Declan Doyle, and like it feels like every player we've heard, talk about it, every journalist we've heard, it's like the details, and he wants an offense that is connected, and
Yeah.
it just, from what we're hearing, it's all fitting the bill. I mean, the way he talks about it, like the way I know Jeff Friedrich had a good article about it, the way Femi was talking about it, like this guy Declan Doyle is so detail oriented, and we're hearing it from the players itself. So I can only imagine, what those practices are like. We've already seen that, Mark Andrews, a leader, you want to say? I mean, he's been here a very long time, had a false start. They threw his ass off the field. They said no.
Yeah,
Like that's
they
how
did.
how much detail is going into this. If you make one mistake, you're out of here. Get somebody else in. Bring in Durham Smythe. Bring in Cuevas. Bring in Hibner. Like I love that. I do. It's like don't get too comfortable. Not to quote Future, but that's kind of how I feel like. Like to be in this offense is a whole new slate. It's not Tom Munkin's offense. It's not Greg Roman's. It's something new. It's something we haven't seen before. Yeah, I'm 31, but I'm going to show you how much of a leader I am. I love it, and that got me even more excited. And I'll touch on Ledford as well, but Declan Doyle, man, more and more excited as the days go on.
Yeah. I mean, Declan Doyle. I mean, but things are falling apart though. Things are falling apart. You forgot. You forgot, Alex.
You're right.
Things are falling apart. So, I mean, I guess that means that Declan is not really hitting it off with Lamar. Hell, Lamar's not even at OTAs. He's not even at the voluntaries, right? I mean, yeah, forgot about
He
that.
hates it.
Shit, that sucks.
Falling apart. I mean, at least we didn't trade, like our premier edge rusher, generational talent, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Falling apart though. We are falling apart for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I have no idea why Vegas thinks we're gonna win the most games this year or the second. I have no clue why. I mean,
maybe a fan disconnect. Maybe just fans aren't excited. I mean, they didn't sell out a jersey reveal, right? No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
no.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anywho's. Back to business here. Guys, again, 126 people watching live. Shout out to y'all. Like the video. If you're part of the replay gang, like the video. Comment down below. Subscribe to the channel. All the things, guys. By the way, make sure you join our channel membership because we will have another giveaway coming up soon here. So you're going to want to make sure you stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Okay?
Oh.
Appreciate all of you guys for coming through. All right. So let's go ahead and get into our next topic here of the episode, Alex. So you had right tackle. We talked about those bookend right tackles, right? Right tackle Roger Rosengarten was on the Lounge podcast, of course, the Ravens subsidized podcast, where they normally throw some softball questions at the players and stuff like that because they get a lot of those guests on by way of the job. But this one, you kind of have to listen close. You have to kind of read between the lines, listen between the sound bites to really get something out of these interviews. And I got a couple of things. So here is Roger Rosengarten talking about how he's a perfect fit for Doyle and Dwayne Ledford.
I think with Declan coming in and Coach Led coming in, I mean, those two guys have formulated a really good plan for the offensive line. Me, specifically for my game and what my strong suits are, I think it fits me to a T. So from that first day, what Led emphasized was obviously speed off the ball, and we're running. It's going to be one thing. We're going to play hard, play fast. So, I mean, it all falls in, I think, my strong suits, the quality as a player. I think from my first 2 years, I think I had a lot of strong qualities that fit in that offense, but I feel like it's going to shine even more in this one. So,
Coach,
You hear that?
Heard it.
You hear that? I mean,
I heard it.
Because Alex, they're all saying the same stuff. They're all
heard
saying
it.
the same stuff. They're all like, and he gives props to Munkin and Munkin and Warhop and all that. Yeah, I mean, I was good last year. It was working well last year, but I think this year is even more of a perfect fit. Right? They're all saying that, like, yeah, what they're doing now, like the scheme and what they're installing now in this offense, and even on the defense side of the football, this is how we need to be playing. And I love it. They're all talking about the same. Everybody's on the same page. Everyone's on the same page. What do you take from it, Alex?
It's like a common theme we saw it last week with the Mike Green, and now it's not as obvious, as Mike Green, but he wasn't being played to his strengths last year. Once again, now this leads me to this point. As me and you are at the end of the bar, I'm not sure what you are sipping on. I know me, I'm sipping on a Surfside at the end of the bar, my preference.
Okay.
Maybe we were right again. Maybe it wasn't such a bad fall off. Maybe it was our second year right tackle just not being used correctly. Because he looked damn good his rookie year. Good against Myles Garrett. Good against TJ Watt in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Week 18 and in the wild card. Holding his own. And then for it to just fall off like that in 1 year, something had to happen. And he didn't say it, but I heard it. So Mr. Ledford is trusting his players. He's definitely, watched the film, watch, what these guys are good at, helping them at, and what they're bad at, or what they're weak at, I should say. He's improving. Still a long time to see, but that's what I took from this. We'll see a different Roger Rosengarten. I hope, fingers crossed, but I have no doubt that it'll be a much better line. Much better. Yeah. Even if we don't, get, it's not like a Quentin Nelson's walking through the door, but Venga's pretty damn good. That's already, addition there. And then if you can have Roger play like he did rookie year, but just kind of up that a little bit, much better than last year. Much, much better.
Yeah, man. Here's more of Roger Rosengarten talking about Declan Doyle.
You guys feel as a unit in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, Declan he's such a smart mind within creating an offense to have explosive plays. That's one of our foundational pillars in our offense is explosive plays. With the kind of players we have, I mean, it's a necessity. So, and the amount of details that he pays attention to that can't go unknown within the offensive line, the tight ends, receivers, running backs, you name it, quarterbacks. Everything is detailed, and it needs to be detailed throughout the whole play. And if it doesn't, then things can go wrong, and that's where explosive plays can turn to only a 2-yard gain. And
that's a good point right there.
Those details that he harps on and he explains to the rest of the position coaches is, I feel like, part of the reason why I feel really confident about this offense. So
I'm curious.
I love everything. I love everything that Roger Rosengarten is saying here about this Ravens team, this Ravens offense, how Declan Doyle is doing his thing and he's super detail oriented. But I think, Alex, he's missing one key factor here.
What's that?
We're falling apart. We're falling apart, bro. He keeps. I don't know why.
The foundation is crumbling.
Literally, the ground is falling out underneath us. The sky is falling. The Ravens are falling apart. The windows closed. What the hell is he even talking about? What is he even talking about? Like what?
Shoot.
What do you mean that? Jeez, man.
Fluff, man, falling apart. That's back to back. Now we've heard offensive linemen talk about the details.
Yeah,
offensive linemen. And listen, not skill positions. Offensive linemen, even for them, detail oriented. Explosive plays. Think about that. The Bears last year. How many explosive plays they had? Had a lot.
Yeah,
had a lot.
That's a good point. They had a lot of explosive plays.
Luther Burden was a freaking explosive play waiting to happen.
And they're a less talented offense than the Ravens. Is that a hot take? That's not a hot take, right?
I don't think so.
Not at all. I don't think. Yeah, because no. But yeah, I don't know what the hell Roger Rosengarten is talking about here. He did also talk about. This doesn't really matter because we're falling apart. But Venga Ioane. Let me go ahead and get to this part right here. Venga Ioane.
For your perspective on Venga Ioane, the rookie first-round pick playing right next to you at right guard, what stood out about him so far?
Man, V's come in and he's been such a. I think Coach Minner already mentioned it. He's already you could already tell he's got the veteran mentality. With kind of all the departures we've had in the offensive line room. Myself and Ronnie, I feel like have definitely kind of stepped up in that leadership. But you could tell V coming in as a young guy like he is and kind of already that veteran mentality, very detailed in his work. You could definitely tell within the plays we're running, I couldn't tell if he's been in the league for 5 years or this is his first year. So, the progressions he's made, the strides he's made, along with the technique he has and the God-given ability, it's exciting. So, V's a stud.
How much?
So, everybody's kind of saying the same things about Venga Ioane, like he's wise beyond his years and he's super mature, and you can just kind of look at Venga Ioane, and when you listen to him speak, you can kind of get that, right? He's not like with the games, he's there to work, he's there to learn, and again, we talked about this. The Venga Ioane pick at number 14 overall in the draft was not the sexy pick. It was not the pick that's going to be the player that puts butts in seats, right? It was the fruits and vegetables pick, right? It was what you needed, as opposed to like what was flashy and what you really wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like a big time wide receiver or, a running back, quarterback, even though we don't need those positions as much. edge rusher, those sort of things. But I think that the impact of drafting Vinga Ioane, of course, will go kind of unnoticed and it'll fly under the radar because he's a guard, interior O-lineman. But that is going to, again, be a force multiplier for the rest of the entire offense. Derrick Henry, Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, right? All those, Mark Andrews, all those guys, Hibner, Cuevas, everyone. And then most importantly, Lamar Jackson. So I love what I'm hearing here. I do about Vinga Ioane, but what do you take?
Yeah, like you said, we've been hearing that even when he got drafted, the draft guys were all talking about it. Len, it was kind of like the worst kept secret. We even saw Dwayne Ledford at the Penn State Pro Day working one-on-one with Vinga. So I think that was the guy he wanted. I'm glad we got him because he'll fit right in there. Already is having a good rapport with our guys. And to me, I think it's interesting to hear Roger going into his third year as one of the leaders in the O-line room. Considering you have a guy Pinter, he's been around a little bit. John Simpson's been in the league for a good amount, but obviously I expected Ronnie. That's just interesting to hear, that Roger's taking on that leadership role. I like it a lot, but it definitely just caught me off guard.
Yeah. Same here. Let me see. We got another super chat donation. This one's coming from Asmodeus again. Says, cannot express how happy we didn't get Kenyon Sadiq. Bust in parentheses. Thank you so much, Asmodeus, dropping the 2-piece in the chat. Bust is crazy. Bust is crazy. Yeah. Where did he go again?
I think he went like 16 or 17. I think the Jets.
To the Jets. That's right. That's
16.
Right.
Was he 16 overall? Yep, 16th overall.
Yeah, because we had a chance to get him. Yeah, I don't know about Bust, man. I mean, I liked them coming out of college, man. I wouldn't have minded if we drafted him. But
the Jets, though, it makes no sense. They took Mason Taylor pretty high last year from LSU. He drafted another tight end high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Geno Smith's their quarterback.
And the Jets are a dumpster fire. All you can really hope is that guy makes a couple of good plays here and there, and maybe turns into a weapon down the line.
Yeah, then trade bait in a couple of years.
And trade, yeah, definitely. I thought you were saying trade Bateman. I was about to say, whoa,
whoa. Trade. Listen, Sauce got traded. Jermaine Johnson got traded.
Yeah. Okay, so here is the last clip. Roger Rosengarten talking about the offensive line without Tyler Linderbaum.
Exactly. Like, do you get the sense now when OTA's like, yeah, we're gonna have a really strong offensive line, even though we lost a Pro Bowl center?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, losing Tyler stung. I think I said last year, if we lose him, it's gonna sting. So I mean, I was at his wedding recently, and I was happy for him, but I was a little bummed too.
You were giving a hard time?
I was a little bit, but man, I'm so happy for him though. A guy like him, he deserves it. He deserves every bit of it. So, last year was, not the year we wanted, especially up front. And coming with the clean slate, and you get a veteran guy like John who's already been here,
right,
who I used to watch film as a rookie of John killing dudes, so I already know he has the mentality for it. And you mix that with a good scheme that kind of fits all of our kind of play styles, with V in there, and Danny and Joe and Corey battling for that center job.
Right.
I think it's going to be a lot better, and that expectation is going to be set high, but I think we're willing to challenge it. So,
what do you take from that, Alex?
Come on now, a scheme that fits all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like maybe last year I was just pandering to maybe one or two guys.
Yeah. That's what it felt. That's what it felt like, bro.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like, man.
Roger, they weren't playing to your strengths. Listen, clean slate. I think that's how I feel. A clean slate for a lot of these guys, especially the defensive young guys like a Starks, a Green. Like, can't judge these guys off of last year. You really, especially Roger, a tough year last year. I've been on his ass, but hearing this, it definitely, he was a victim of whatever was going on under that regime. So I'm sorry, Roger. Accept my apology.
For sure. Please accept our apology. I do still think, one-on-one, there was some times where Rosengarten got beat, a little bit. I'd like to see a little bit of that cleaned up, but nobody's perfect. So I do think that, with a more competent guard next to him, he will perform better, much like he did in his rookie season. But we'll see. We move on though. I saw this article here earlier today. Which players are most important to Lamar Jackson's success this season? Good Morning Football's Willie Colon and Manti Te'o each named their top 5 most important people to Lamar Jackson's success this season. Unsurprisingly, mentor offensive coordinator Declan Doyle, Henry, wide receiver Zay Flowers, and Jackson himself were mentioned. Here are 3 other players who are most important to Lamar's success this season. Alex, let me know in chat. Of course, in Replay Gang, let me know down below in the comments what you think about these. So left tackle Ronnie Stanley was the first one. He says, when he's in the lineup and he's anchoring that line, you start to see the magic happen for the Baltimore Ravens, Cologne said. He still needs to be able to protect Lamar's blind side, and also he's the elder statesman in that locker room. We need to hear more out of him. Real quick, let's stop right there before we move on. What do you think about Ronnie Stanley being one of the top most important players for Lamar Jackson's success this season?
Listen, I get it. I mean, we've had many of years or many of games without him, and we've seen how that went. I think for the vocal aspect, yeah, this is a very young line right now. This is a line right now with not a lot of chemistry. You know, when Simpson was here, Roger Rosengarten was playing in Washington. When Simpson was here, you know, Pinter and guys weren't here. Venga was probably first or second year at Penn State. So we need Ronnie to really step up, you know, embrace that leader role. You're getting paid like I hate to bring up the money, but I want to see you take that over. You've been here now, you're probably the longest tenure Raven. We're on his 11th season, drafted in 2015. So I do want to see that out of him. So I can definitely agree. You know, Stanley would probably have been in my top as well. We need him healthy. We've seen, you know, when he's not there, it's not pretty. Lamar's blind. He doesn't play the same. You can't really trust that guy when it's not Ronnie out there. It's hard. You know, Ronnie's one of the top guys in the league.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you bring up the chemistry word, and I think that you're spot on with that, because in order to sort of cultivate good chemistry, you need leaders who can bring people together and who can kind of guide. And that's what Ronnie Stanley is literally there for. I mean, like you mentioned, he's getting paid all the money to do something like that, you know, to lead his unit on the field, right? Be a coach on the field of sorts. Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's his time to really be that, like they said, elder statesman in the locker room, and kind of usher these young guys in. Again, the Venga Ioane, and of course, keep working with guys like Roger Rosengarten and whoever else in that room. You know, it's going to be important. And I'm sure Dwayne Ledford is kind of echoing that same sentiment to Ronnie Stanley. Like, hey, man, I mean, this is your room. I mean, I know I'm the coach, but like, this is your room. You've been here forever, right? I need you to like act like it. Like, show me. Like, show them. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree. Ronnie Stanley is going to be super important this year, especially, I mean, and we haven't really talked about this in a while, Alex, like who's going to be playing next to Ronnie Stanley? Is it going to be Simpson, or is it going to be Venga? We just don't know yet. Signs point towards Venga playing right guard and Simpson playing left guard. Personally, I've been very vocal about this right here on this platform. I prefer Venga to play at his natural left guard spot. Put him right next to Ronnie Stanley. Give me a strong side. Give me a strong side, right? I think that allows you to kind of, you know, get teams leaning one way, and that's when you can hit them with play action and things like that. You think we're running to the side of Ronnie Stanley and Venga Ioane with Derrick Henry, but no, we're actually Lamar Jackson's keeping it. It's a boot to the other side. Now Jacoby Lane's down there wide open, right? Tez Walker's open deep, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that sort of thing. But let's move on here. I mean, tight end Mark Andrews. Tight end Mark Andrews. We know he's Lamar's security blanket, Mr. Dependable. He's been there forever. He has to continue to show up for Lamar. Couple things. I'm not going to lie. It does feel like, you know, the people who these are, it feels like their opinions on some of these Ravens players are just a little bit dated.
Yes.
Right? Just a little bit dated. Like, you know, this is 2023 Ravens, you know. Yeah. But no, this is the 2026 Ravens. I get where his heart's at by saying Mark Andrews. I do. And part of me agrees. I've said that here on this show too. I mean, I think that Mark Andrews, he is primed to have a good season. I'm not going to say like he's going to be one of the top 3-4 tight ends in the league, but I definitely think that he's going to be a dominant red zone threat, just like always. A dominant third and long threat, you know, for Lamar Jackson. He'll still be trying to look for him. He'll still be trying to find him. And much like Ronnie Stanley, I mean, he's the elder statesman in that tight end room, right? So you've got 2 young guys right behind you. Likely is no longer a thing. I mean, he was threatening your job for the longest. He wanted more money. He said no to the Ravens extension offer. We got him out of here. Now you're here, and we drafted Hibner and Cuevas, Matthew Hibner and Josh Cuevas, this past draft. We need somebody to help usher those guys in. So I think Mark Andrews is going to be more important to the rest of that tight end room as opposed to just Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson, he's got weapons. You know, I believe in Derrick Henry, of course, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Tez Walker, Lane Surratt. I just think that Mark Andrews, again, because we just don't know what his role is going to be, what Declan Doyle really sees for Mark Andrews and at this stage in his career. So we'll see. But do you agree with Mark Andrews being on that list?
I think, like you said, from an outsider point of view, when you're covering all 32 teams and you just look at this from a basic point of view, you look at our depth chart and you see Andrews, you see Bateman, you see Zay as like maybe your 2 receivers and 1 tight end. It's like, okay, well, Andrews is going to be the guy. And I get that. I feel like he has to be important. He's going to be important, but he has to continue to show up for Lamar in the regular season. I don't want to be that guy, but we still have yet to see in the postseason. And it's interesting we're talking about, he won't be a top 3 tight end because I remember from 2019 to like 2022, 23, like there was a top 3 tight end group in the league. It was Kelsey, Kittle, and Andrews. And like nobody touched them. It was always those 3 guys. Like how have the times changed now? Like you can really make a case Andrews might not be his top 10 stretching it. Like I'm not trying to, he had not the best bet, year, but you can make a case for it, but not top 5 year last year and then the year before that. So I definitely put him as one of the more important ones because you need him to step up. You know there's going to be a 3rd and 10 where he has got to get it. Because are we going to really throw it to Hibner or Cuevas? I'm not too sure. But you have to give him those opportunities. I think Andrews have to come through like he has in the regular season. Postseason, different story. But God's favorite, that's a good point. Mark's getting paid like a top 4 or 5 tight end. He better act like it.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Definitely. There's a lot of people on this team who are getting paid like top 5 at their position who need to act like it. That's for sure. Let me see here. Okay, so moving along here. Kicker Tyler Loop. It says if they have confidence in Tyler Loop, you don't have to go for it every time on 4th down. We can take the 3 instead of the 7. Give some assurance to Jesse Minter that we can get the field goals. What do you think about that one? I mean, Alex, that's an interesting one, right?
I don't think I agree. I think this is more of a coaching thing. I really do. I mean, it depends how aggressive Jesse Minter wants to get. We know Lamar. He's going to want to go for it. Any 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 3, he'll probably want to go for it. 4th and 5, he might want to go for it. He always wants to score 7.
Yeah.
But I feel like in those situations, I feel like we're acting like Tyler Loop missed like 50 field goals last year.
Right.
He didn't miss it. He was pretty damn good. Like it's just a very short memory of him missing the one in Pittsburgh with the season on the line and in Pittsburgh in freaking Hell's Playground. In the Devil's Playground. Like, okay, you know what I mean? Like outside of that, he was pretty spot on. And even like in Tucker's final year, he had the yips. The Eagles game, he missed 3 or 4 field goals?
Yeah, at least 3.
I would have maybe deferred to maybe the center position on this one because I feel like that's very important. We've seen the center cost us playoff games. I'm not sure I would pick Tyler Loop for this one. I'm really not.
Yeah, I wouldn't either personally. And like you mentioned, if the Ravens do get 4th and 4 or shorter, I still think that in most scenarios they should go for it, especially if they're in plus territory, right? If you're in your own side of the field, punt it. If it's like 4th and 4, 4th and 3, I don't mind punting it. But like if you're in plus territory and you're moving the ball and you just need that 4th down play to get an extra couple yards, hey, you got Lamar. Let's just use him, right? Because that can be the difference, Alex, between, again, like we mentioned, scoring 3 points or scoring 7. It's just so much more important getting that 4-point surplus by getting a touchdown with an extra point. And we've seen time and time again with a competently called offense, the Ravens red zone offense can be extremely lethal. Get in the red zone, the Ravens should be scoring. And I hope that Declan Doyle is really focusing on that and honing in on his red zone offense. I'd love to know how the Bears red zone offense did last year, where they ranked. I'm gonna look that up in a minute here, maybe.
I can check it out real quick.
Okay, but yeah, that'd be interesting to know. But yeah, those were the ones. So Tyler Loop, Mark Andrews, and Ronnie Stanley, and then of course the main ones. You got Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry, and then the coaches too. So I think I agree with most of it here. I mean, the Tyler Loop one, I think I agree with you, Alex. Is kind of off. That one's kind of off for me. Stanley, they make a decent point. Mandrews, I think, is gonna have to kind of step up this year, especially with all those that young talent behind him. Somebody's got to produce when the going gets rough. Why not the veteran Mandrew? So, but we'll see. We shall see. You find anything on their offense?
So it says the touchdown percentage was 57.14%, so it was 14th in the top half of the league. That was inside the 20 yards, 20-yard line. They did rely on field goals. And they finished as a top 10 unit offensively, but yeah, 14th overall in red zone percentage.
14th overall in red zone percentage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love to see, by game, like at the end of the year, if it got better. I would love to know that.
Yeah, same.
I'll have to look
And,
see if I can find more.
okay. And again, like it's just like, for a fact that like Lamar Jackson is better than Caleb Williams. He's a better quarterback. I don't care what anybody has to say about that. I mean, it's just a fact. Lamar will oftentimes, even when you are wrong scheme wise, right? Play calling wise, he will make you right. So as long as he's in the right position, I think Declan Doyle talked about this at, when he had his introductory press conference. He said that, when Lamar Jackson gets to play number 2 and 3 within the same rep, it's all about making sure that we are in phase and, still blocking downfield and things like that, doing all the right things to make sure that he can execute, when he's improvising. So I think it's going to be a match made in heaven, this Lamar Jackson offense paired with Declan Doyle. Were you looking up something else?
Okay, so I have 12th overall here, 58.2% touchdown rate, and then they were a top 10 offense altogether in scoring. They're the 9th ranked scoring offense. They had 49 total touchdowns.
Yeah, you talk about no shade to the Bears offense, but it's just like with Jesse Minter coming from LA to Baltimore, man. It's the same thing. Declan Doyle, you're going to be able to do more with more. You were doing more with less in Chicago, but now you're going to be able to do more with more because you didn't have a Derrick Henry. You didn't have a Lamar Jackson, right? And your receivers, I mean, the quality of their receiving core last year, I think at the very least kind of mirrored ours, right? I mean, I wouldn't say they were leaps and bounds more talented, the Bears receiving core last year, than the Ravens. Would you
say? DJ Moore, Luther Burden, Velus Jones. No, he wasn't with them. Who was? They Duvernay.
Yeah, Rome, Moore, and Burden. You compare them to Zay, Bate, D-Hop. Yeah. It is not that far off. Not that far off. I would say. And I hope that's not the homer in me. But that's what I believe. So I think that in Baltimore, of course, he's going to have way more to work with. And that scoring offense, that number should come up relative to his last year in Chicago. And then I think that red zone percentage needs to come up too, especially for the Ravens. I mean, we were abysmal in the red zone. In the red zone. And that's where I'm also looking at Dwayne Ledford, because you know what the problem was in the red zone? We got no push from the offensive line, 0 push from the O-line. So that was the big issue there. But okay, Alex, let's go ahead and move right along here. So we got a couple more things to touch on this episode here, 415 of the Purple Rain podcast. Please be sure, guys, like this video if you've not already. Leave a thumbs up on this video. Subscribe as well. Again, thank y'all for coming through. If you're part of the replay gang, like the video, but also hype the video. Helps us out a ton here with the good old algorithm. You guys know how that goes. All right. This past weekend, Alex, you had our quarterback, Lamar Jackson. He was in New York, much like our guy, Balenciaga Bate. Last week, he was in New York, and I had a fit about that because, like, man, you were at practice, but you weren't practicing. And the next day, you're at New York. I mean, it just didn't really sit right with me. But today's not about Rashad Bateman. It's not about Rashad Bateman. This is about Lamar Jackson. He apparently showed up in New York to a Streamer University event where he met some fans. I guess let's take a look at this.
Jackson! Lamar! Lamar Jackson! What am I dead? That's Lamar Jackson! Look, I'm Lamar Jackson. Y'all go follow Channel 26 new W's in the chat, please, man. I got Lamar here. Yo, Lamar. Where am I dead? I was you in the flesh. You're the one. Like, I ain't like Madden. You are different colors. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are the one. Like, nah, that.
This is the nigga that be with me all the money, yo, when a nigga say, yo, throw the ball, never throw the ball with Lamar.
Run it.
What? Are you crazy?
Yo, Lamar.
Never throw the ball.
This nigga.
Not very sound advice, by the way.
Yeah. This nigga win. This nigga win no money. He's pumped. He's pumped. He's pissed. Yo, you gotta play. Yo, you gotta pick me up. Come on. Why savage, man? Jackson.
So that was Lamar Jackson meeting up with fans in New York at the Kai Cenat Streamer University. Alex, I got one more for you. I didn't even see this one. This was one where he was, I guess, being interviewed by Kai Cenat for Streamer University. Let's take a look.
Can I trust your word in this? You know how much people try to come into Streamer University? There's a lot of people out there, now. All right, so look, this not a guaranteed acceptance or denial. Have you submitted my application online?
Yes, sir.
What is your social media handle?
Channel 26 News.
Spell it.
CHANNEL 26NEWZ.
Z. Okay. Nigga, that's what you gotta say. Next time, just say that, nigga.
Stop by saying my boule.
My boule. There you go.
All right, so I guess that was Lamar Jackson bringing his friend to interview or submit an application for Streamer U. What do you think?
I mean, he always puts his guys on, so.
Because who was the Channel 26 News guy? I've seen that.
He's always on his always collabs. Like he's always the guy doing interviews at games beforehand. He's always there. Like he'll be in like in a purple suit. I saw him at the jersey reveal event. He was wearing like a Channel 26 custom suit.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't mind Lamar Jackson because look, the man showed up to voluntary OTAs. He showed up to mandatory minicamp. He looked good there too. So like, I don't mind, him enjoying his offseason. Now is the real offseason for the players.
Yeah.
This is where like the real offseason starts. The next 6 weeks is like they're on their own, basically, And I think Jesse Minter had said something to the team collectively. I read this earlier today too, Alex. He said that, when you're out for these next 6 weeks, I know we just had mandatory minicamp, OTAs, but like basically like treat your body like you're Calais Campbell. Treat your body like you are, one of these veterans who's been around for a long time and is going to do the right thing. Mark Andrews, like that sort of thing, right? Don't just like kind of like do whatever, Don't be getting shrimp po' boys from shady gas station, you know what I'm saying? Like, or food trucks and whatnot. Like, don't be doing that. Don't be doing all that, especially if you got a weak immune system.
Oxtail pizza.
Oxtail pizza. Yeah, like, nah, bro. We're not, come on now.
The Lamar special.
The Lamar special. But no, it's cool to see Lamar Jackson enjoying himself. Did you also see he was at like TikTok or something?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. He's still in side quest, man. I love it.
Let me see.
Side quest season. So it was like, he was like doing like the scuba dance, a couple of guys. It's good for him. Enjoy it. Enjoy your off season. It's going to come around, then you have to be locked in for this couple of months.
Yeah. Let's take a look at this. Him at TikTok.
Put any of your hands. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Mr. Gray, does that make me the quarterback?
We'll have to see about that.
Okay, this is for this. Okay, then. On the Legion Talk Station here, down here in New York, and we're getting litty.
So there's Lamar Jackson again doing it up at TikTok in New York City. I think I'll say this, Alex. Like, name me another quarterback who is as down to earth, you know what I'm saying, for the people as Lamar Jackson is. Because I don't see, like, respect. Jalen Hurts would never. You know what I mean? Like, would never.
He's coming out with his next slogan, next catchphrase. Yeah, it's not happening. Would not happen with him.
Let me see. Mike dropping the 2-piece super chat donation in the chat. Appreciate you, brothers. As Sutton tells these people about brisket loaded potatoes. Brisket loaded potatoes? That actually doesn't sound half bad.
Sounds good, but it sounds like me going to sleep after eating it.
For sure. You would definitely have the itis, for sure. Definitely.
Oh my gosh, I would eat that now and do anything the rest of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Even just thinking about it like makes me tired. Thank you so much, Mike, for the super chat donation. But yeah, Lamar, stay away from that gas station pizza. Stay away from that the food truck, the shady food trucks late at night, who are more concerned about recording you than making sure your food is not going to give you sickness.
Yeah. I love a good food
man.
truck, but not when it's parked at a gas station. I will tell you
Yeah,
that.
all good. I'm all good on that.
A bunch
All
of food
good.
trucks like a park, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Shady food truck parked at the gas station, recording you. Yeah,
All good on
not
that.
good.
All good on that. Another thing, Alex, I gotta ask you about your boy. I gotta ask you
boy.
about your boy, because we didn't
My
talk
boy.
about this last time. But your boy Jacoby Lane, he's been doing a bunch recently. You know, in the media again, he's trying to lean into the whole media darling thing. I've said it before. He gives me like Peter Parker, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man vibes, which I think is kind of cool. If it comes season time, as long as he is balling out, right? He proves that he's like, you know, hardened up enough for this AFC North, this hard-nosed AFC North division. I'm cool. But I will say this. You see this tweet here. It says, I dare Jack to drop a clutch pass. The man wrapped himself in garbage bags. Like that will not be used against him in Twitter court when the season comes. If you, I mean, again, you drop one pass, one bad play, this will come back around.
Jacoby Lane with the season on the line. I can see it now. And I also can see it now, the AI of a playful person who took the Baltimore media by storm in his first interview, you know, wore garbage bags. Yeah. Yeah. Thankfully, he wasn't the first round pick. Thankfully.
Yeah. But it's like, still, it's going to be so cringe.
There's a microscope already on him.
Yeah.
Already. Yeah. And the NFL keeps posting his content. Genuinely keeps posting it. I saw he was on their page another time, I think like last week. I'm like, oh gosh, this isn't good.
Yeah, they're writing a pretty large check that Mr. Jacoby Lane is going to have to cash on his own. But from what it sounds like to me, Alex, it does sound like, you know, everybody on the team is taking a liking to him. Cordell told me last week that they're hunting opportunities to get him involved and things like that. So it's looking like he's going to have a pretty decent role on this offense, if I had to guess right now, here in June. So hopefully he makes the most and maximizes, you know, those opportunities. And you know, because he's gonna have bad moments. And the sad thing is, like, even just one bad moment, which you know will happen, this meme is coming back up. This meme is coming back. It's gonna be all over the internet. So it's just, you know, like I said before, there's being a big check written in his name that he's gonna have to cash, and I think that puts a little bit extra pressure on him. But luckily, he's playing with one of the best quarterbacks in the world right now, so I think that'll make his job a little bit easier, you know, because Lamar Jackson will find him opportunities, just like he found opportunities for Isaiah Likely multiple occasions. Jacoby Lane is kind of like a similar type build. Of course, not as big because he's not tight end, so he's not as thick, but you know, Jacoby Lane is a big body wide receiver with a very large catch radius. You know, Lamar Jackson absolutely loves those type of pass catchers. So Jacoby Lane, order up, my brother. It's time to eat, bro. It's time to eat. You know what I'm saying? All right, but go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
It seems like him and Lamar have developed some sort of chemistry. I know there's a one clip of, you know, put the thing on Jacoby or number 6, something like that. And I've, you know, with Jacoby, they've been close, looks like, in the locker room. So that's all good. I mean, not to compare it, but, you know, it didn't seem like Lamar and a guy like Miles Boykin had that chemistry. I hate to bring it up, but
yeah,
they definitely have that chemistry. You know, like him and Zay, you know, him and Hollywood had it. If he has that with you, he'll target you. And we've seen that. So it's coming on good for the most part. From what we've seen, it looks good. So fingers crossed it carries on to the training camp and the regular season.
Definitely. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here in the chat. Tanja, what's going on, Tanja? I didn't even see you in the chat. What's going on, Miss Bowman? Appreciate you for coming through as always. There's not much pressure on him at all. While he is learning, he is a 3rd round pick. Yeah, I mean, Alex just brought that point up, and you know, I agree with him. If he was a first, then yeah, I'd be real nervous right now. I'd be like, oh shit. I mean, I need him to come out swinging, right? Or else like the bust allegations will be, yeah, they're gonna be strong. They're gonna be strong. But you know, I mean, there's pressure on. The reality is, there's pressure on all these guys, all these new guys here. You know, whether or not you were a high round draft pick or a later round draft pick, a UDFA, whatever, you're just trying to make the team. There's pressure on all these guys. You know, so
I feel like I need a chalkboard for that first like training camp top play, and it's Jacoby Lane, big catch, and it's like I will not get hype over training camp Jacoby Lane. I will not get hype over training camp, but we have to write it down 100 times. Just, you know, we've been through this before, but once again, I'm gonna get hype over it and probably overreact about it. And that's fine. Just warning you, it's gonna happen.
It is what it is. It is what it is. You know. All right, Alex. So I think that we have touched on all the Ravens topics today.
Yes.
All the football topics, things like that.
Yes.
Let's talk about real football. Let's talk about the international football. The World Cup is going on right now as we speak. The USA, they just got their first W, I believe 4-1 over Paraguay. I watched it on Friday night after I got off the happy hour stream with Coach. But then I just rewatched. Okay, I see with the kit. I just rewatched the highlights from it right before we went live here, and they look good. Team look good. What did you make of them?
They look better than good. That to me is our best performance in a World Cup game ever.
Really?
It was that good with the expectations we had, with the talent we had, with the setting, with it being the first game. It couldn't have went better. Obviously, a clean sheet 4-0 would have been nicer than 4-1, but the way they responded, the way they ended with the final kick of the game being an outside of the boot goal from damn near outside of the box, that was a cherry on top. I thought they played Paraguay off the pitch, who were not a bad team at all. They had the best defense in South America. So yes, think about that. Brazil, Argentina had better defenses than them. That was not, some beating up on a small team like we saw Germany do yesterday. That was a quality win.
Oh,
and
they had their way with what I can't remember that country's name. Like 7-1.
Curacao. I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to disrespect them, but they US. I'm just so excited. And the best part about it is if we are to win on Friday against Australia, who played great against Turkey, we can rest our starters next week against Turkey. So you win this week, have a whole basically week of rest, and you go into the knockouts. So, and the goal difference as well. We have a +3 goal difference. Australia has +2. Like I said, that lineup he put out was amazing. I mean, every player played amazing. I wasn't expecting that. I thought maybe a 2-0 win, but 4-1, over the moon.
Impressive.
Like every player, like I said, I mean, Pulisic came off after a half. I mean, he should be good.
And he didn't even score.
Guys like Malik Tillman, Fuller and Balogun, this guy. Man,
he had 2 goals, right?
He had 2 goals. Thing about me, he came through the Arsenal Academy. He was, as a kid, he came through. So I've known about him for a while. He picked us over England. He could have went to England, could have been their striker, but he picked us because he knew that we would give him the chances. We would give him the chances. He would be our starting striker, and boy, did it pay off. Yeah. I expect him to get more goals. Our defense was good. Guys like Anthony Robinson, number 5, if you were watching, man. Germany, the team to beat. We'll see. I mean, 7-1 against a small country like that. I mean, it's impressive, but you got to take it with a grain of
Kai
salt.
Havertz, right?
Kai Havertz, 2 goals. Yes, a little celebration. Yeah. Great, yeah. But back to USA. I'm still like on a high right now. Like I was telling, I have never felt this patriotic in my life after that win on Friday and then the UFC White House yesterday. Yeah. But around the league, I mean around the World Cup, we did have a shocker today. Spain drew to Cape Verde, 0-0.
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
so
was it 0-0 or was it 1-1?
0-0. And if USA were to draw 0-0 to Paraguay, I would have lost my head because the expectations we have. Spain are the favorites for the World Cup, and they drew. Now Argentina lost their first game in 2022 World Cup when they won it, but Spain did not look good at all.
So would you say that with how USA performed in their first game, would you say that their odds are now higher, just a little bit higher than what they were going into? Okay, to win it all.
Yes,
okay.
But I don't think we win. I don't think we win it all. But to maybe make a run, we show we have the pieces. We can do it. We haven't beat a European team yet. Well, we will come up against one in Turkey on the 3rd match day. If we were to win all 3 of our group games, I'm going to be crazy levels of delusional. Crazy levels.
Do you have any plays for us?
I do. I have some for tomorrow. And then I'll have some for the Friday game on Thursday.
Because we saw some people put in the comments. Yeah, we saw some people in the comments say that they wanted more of these plays. So
listen, I had a great weekend. Today I'm awful. The Uruguay game's 1-1. I lost my bet for this one, but I'm up. For tomorrow, the France-Senegal game, gamble responsibly, please. I like over 2.5 goals. Michael Elise, a shot on target, and France double chance. Always take the double chance. There have been 13, maybe 14 draws in the opening games. Double chance, France and tie. So if it's a tie, you still win. Lower odds, but it saves you. Then for the second game, Norway, Iraq, Erling Haaland, anytime score. Erling Haaland, 2 shots on target. Norway, outright money line. They should blow him off the park. Then Argentina, Algeria, Messi anytime scorer, Lautaro Martinez shot on target, both teams to score. Algeria are a good team, and Argentina's defense is pretty shaky. So rewind that back. This is my favorite play. Parlay them together. You should get over a plus 100, maybe like a plus 100 or plus 150. That's my sweet spot. I've been doing good. And yeah, make sure you use Bet365 if you can. They have the if your guy gets subbed out for a shot on target, their substitute counts. So if they get one on target, your bet hits. And FanDuel's been doing it too.
That's pretty cool. Nice little feature there. Give
we-
you
yeah,
an
like-
extra chance. Yeah.
That game Friday, I just can't get over it. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable performance.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to see them play Australia. You said what, Friday, right?
Friday, 2 o'clock your time, 3 o'clock here, which I don't like. I don't like that at all. Because then next week we play at 10 o'clock on Thursday. I don't like that either.
Yeah. I was thinking about World Cup, man. Another thing, I've been watching the broadcast on because a lot of it's been on Peacock, I believe. And every broadcast that I watch, like there is no like what I noticed, there's no like English translation. You know, if it's not America playing, like you can't hear the commentary in English like at all. I don't know if I'm just watching on the wrong like stream or whatever, but like
Fox.
I
Fox
mean,
has been having it.
I feel like I was on Fox. I'll have to see. I'll go back and look. But yeah,
I tell you this, I think yesterday they played in Houston, I want to say. No, that was
Yeah.
in Dallas. The
they played
Netherlands
in
Japan game. There was one, but the Netherlands game in Dallas was unbelievable. The Dutch fans, they shipped the bus from the Netherlands over here. It's like a whole tradition. All the fans, they follow this bus, they drive to the stadium, they all dance, sing, they have their flags and everything. I love the World Cup, man. I love it so much. It just brings the best out. Like it shows there's like actual like good people out there. We can all be friends. If we really want to try, countries can come together and be friends.
Yeah, because you kind of see a similar thing in the Olympics too. Like, and it's just like country pride. That's really what it is, you know. And like, of course, there's like some fierce rivalries and things like that.
Right.
But like, again, I just love seeing the pure emotion from soccer fans like around the world, just like how much they care about this sport, as opposed to, you know, Americans, how much we care about, you know, our major sports. It pales in comparison to what soccer fans around the world feel about sport of football, you know. So yeah, I definitely can't wait until Friday when that USA versus Australia game. You said 2 o'clock my time, so I'll definitely have to make sure I'm locked in, tuned in for that one for sure.
Yeah.
But we did have another thing happen over the weekend as well. I believe it was on Saturday. I want to touch on Saturday. The NBA Finals wrapped up. You had the New York Knicks taking home the 4-1 gentleman's sweep series of the series over the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio, by the way. And I was pissed. I was livid. I was honestly feeling loads of secondhand embarrassment for that Spurs team, for all of the leads that they blew in that series, because I think that I don't have the exact statistic in front of me, Alex, but I watched every single game in its entirety, and I could tell you that the Spurs led for probably about 75% of that series, yet they lost the series 4-1. That is absolutely just despicable, right? Like, I mean, just collapses after collapse. I mean, it really gave me 2025 Ravens. It did. And even, you know, just Harbaugh Ravens in general. The PTSD from all the games, all the Sundays where, you know, we were up going in the fourth quarter. You remember, was it 2022 Ravens Dolphins 1 o'clock game? Remember that? We're going to halftime up big, right? Just had a big play before the half, and then they walk us down. Tua ends up with like 7 touchdowns, right? You know, you can go back to last year, of course, that Buffalo game in week 1. Up 15 with 4 minutes to go. This is what that Spurs versus Knicks series felt like. And again, like I live in Texas, so like I'm rooting for the Spurs, you know, but I felt like I was watching the Ravens, and it just triggered me, Alex. It did. It triggered me. I hated it. Did you watch any of the series?
I did. Some. I didn't watch the full game. I was, kind of tuning into it. I couldn't bear to watch. I mean, after I heard about the blown leads, and like I would check the score. Like, all right, Spurs are up. Check it again, and here come the Knicks. Here they come, and next thing I know, boom, game over. They win. And Queenum comes his son. Are you a Knicks hater?
I am not a Knicks hater. I wouldn't say I'm a Knicks hater because I found myself feeling like happy for Jalen Brunson and the Knicks, especially when you hear like his story, you know, his dad raising him up to be this champion, and you see his, videos of him working out as a kid and stuff. Like, I felt happy for the Knicks, and the whole story about Jalen Brunson and Bridges and Hart all going to Villanova, winning a championship there in 2016, and then 10 years later, it coming full circle, them winning a finals together. It was destined to happen. Karl Anthony Towns losing his mother not too long ago and really wanting to win this one for her. I mean, sometimes in sports, you just have these teams who have this sort of magic behind them. I don't know if that's the right word, Alex, but you know what I mean? Like this aura, like you can tell, like
destiny.
It's destiny, right? It's like it's their fate to win this year, and it kind of proved itself when the Spurs were just throwing the kitchen sink, everything that they had at the Knicks, but it didn't matter. The Knicks, they would just come back at the end of every game, start knocking down every three, and Jalen Brunson hitting every shot, you know what I'm saying? And then the Spurs, for some reason, well, I know what reason. I mean, Mitch Johnson, the Spurs head coach, needs to be fired yesterday. He should not have even woken up the next day as the Spurs head coach, because it was a travesty, his coaching job. I mean, not getting Dylan Harper in the game and playing De'Aaron Fox all those minutes, and De'Aaron Fox was just absolute ass for 95% of the series. That was inexcusable. Even little things like in game 5, I want to say, game 4 it was, with the final play, like with the game on the line, you had Dylan Harper, your 6-foot-something point guard, inbounding the ball, trying to get the ball over a 7-footer in Karl Anthony Towns, right? It ends up getting tipped, and that was all she wrote for that. It was just so many little things that Mitch Johnson wasn't doing. Not resting Wemby when the team was up 17, 18 points. Like, why is he on the floor? Now the fourth quarter comes, they've come all the way back. He's gassed out. He has nothing to offer, So, and Wemby, he definitely has to work on his conditioning, because him getting tired at the end of these games, I mean, this is the playoffs, my brother, respectfully. Like, they put you on a minutes restriction all season long because they know you're a 7'5" alien who can't afford to play as many minutes as the other stars in this league. So come playoff time, you need to be out there. I mean, literally, I don't care if you just got into a 7-game series with the Thunder. Like, you need to be out there hooping, like, and not looking tired by the third quarter. That was just unacceptable to me. But congrats to the Knicks. So no, I'm not a Knicks hater. Mitch Harbaugh says neurosex. Facts.
I would have been sick, man, if you blew all them leads, man. Oof.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Glaucoma says Fox sabotaged the whole team. Yeah, it was bad.
I saw a lot of hate for him online.
Yeah. Bad. Hawk TV says their fans are obnoxious. Yeah, the Knicks fans are going crazy. That's one thing. That was another reason I really was hoping the Spurs would win, low key, because the Knicks fans have been absolutely just, not all of them, but some of them in the videos that I've seen, no class, zero class at all. Right? I see them tearing people's jerseys off their backs and burning it.
Yeah.
Messing with old people who are wearing Spurs jerseys and wheelchairs. It's ugly. It's ugly. Yeah. But again, shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to the Knicks. All right. We got one more thing to get into, Alex. One more thing. So yes. Of course, also we had the UFC White House card, the UFC Freedom 250 that took place in Washington, D.C. last night on the White House South Lawn. You guys know I'm a big UFC fan. I'm not into the politics of it all and the everything that's going on with the current administration and them kind of partnering up with the UFC on this. I just love the fights. I just love MMA, right? So that's why I tuned in. But I did find myself while I was watching it, Alex, I was just like, man, this is at the White House. This is super cool. And I'm honestly, as a UFC fan who's been a fan of the UFC for a long time, I was proud. I was proud of the UFC for coming such a long way. Like, literally 10 years ago, MMA was not even allowed in New York. Like, it was illegal in New York. So to go from that and then fighting on Spike TV all the way back in the day to now being at the White House and this being a really, really big international sport, it was really cool to see. It feels like I kind of grew up with the sport. Again, I have my quarrels with them and some of the things that they do, but it was a really good event. I think we talked about it before we went live here. It was beautiful. Everything about it from start to finish was just, it was tops. What did you think about it, though?
Like I said, I haven't felt this patriotic in a while, and you don't really confuse that with, I guess, political affiliation. But like I said, with the soccer team and with last night, like I thought the walkout was so badass. It felt like to me is like I know you've played like the wrestling games, like it felt like you unlocked a new arena, and you were playing it in this arena. It was the first time ever, and it felt like I was watching history. I mean, the flyover was just unbelievable. The live orchestra, like I said, was really good. Like I got goosebumps for one of the walkout songs because like it's been an artist I've listened to for so long. When Bo Nickel walked out, and then like them walking through and having like each member of the armed forces kind of like start saluting in unison as they're walking down. It was really cool. I can't lie. I really enjoyed it, and I thought the fights lived up to this hype as well.
Yeah, I mean, just talking about the fights now, Alex, I mean, they definitely did live up. I mean, you have 7 fights and 7 finishes. I think that even if you were a casual fan of the UFC and like this is your first time, or even if this was your first time watching the UFC at all, you would be thoroughly entertained by what you saw last night. You know, I'll just run through it really quickly. You had the first fight on the card, Steve Garcia taking on Diego Lopez. I picked Steve Garcia to win. I thought he was just a hungrier guy in that fight, but Diego Lopez, he got into a firefight with Steve Garcia willingly, and he came out on top. And I think Diego Lopez learned a little bit something about himself in that fight. Like, hey, look, like if I just kind of, because he was a little reserved in the first round and he was losing, but then in the second round he came out and he was just like, all right, I'm just gonna fight like how I used to fight. You know, I'm just balls to the wall. I'm gonna throw hands, and ended up working out for him. That was a good fight. And then right after that, you had Michael Chandler versus Mauricio Hoofy, and that one was ugly. Mauricio Hoofy literally looks like Conor McGregor, but like taller and lankier. He does, like in the way he throws his strikes are kind of like that as well. And the fact that he finished him with a spinning back kick to the head, I mean, that was brutal, right? Brutal. He was a heavy favorite too. After that, you had, who was it? Bo Nickel. Yeah, I think Bo Nickel and Kyle Dawkins, they were the second fight, I want to say. Bo Nickel knocked out Kyle Dawkins. I thought he was just going to wrestle him for 3 rounds, but he ended up getting the finish with his hands, so that was really cool to see. Shout out to Bo Nickel. He's coming up in the ranks as well. And then you had some fun ones. You had Derek Lewis. You know, my balls was hot. He took on Josh Hokett. And to be honest with you, man, Derek Lewis, he's just not the Derek Lewis of old anymore. It's time for him to hang it up. He just looked like, and I said this earlier on the my recap stream, if you want like a full in-depth analysis of all my takes on what happened last night, that stream is also up on the channel as well. So go take a look at that. But I was saying that Derek Lewis was like, he's kind of like this, he kind of just like, he just walks around in the octagon. He feels like this behemoth, like this just big monster. He's just like walking forward, like this NPC, you know, almost like character. Like, you know, all he has is just like a swinging punch, and you can see it coming from a mile away. You can duck under it. You can get out of the way. I mean, it's super labored. He has like just not a lot left in the tank. And Josh Hokett is an absolute athlete. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he was a former NFL running back, a D1 running back, D1 wrestler. You know what I mean? He's what, 28 years old. You know, so he's a young spring chicken to Derek Lewis's 40-year-old self. It was just never going to be pretty for Derek Lewis, you know. So, but you said you only watched 3 fights on the card. So did you? That means you missed the last 3, right?
I did. I turned on the Sweden. It was Sweden and Tunisia game, and I fell asleep to that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after that, you had Sean O'Malley getting a good W over Ayman Zahabi. I mean, Sean O'Malley was getting the crap kicked out of his leg by Zahabi, but apparently that was all Zahabi brought to the table that night, because he wasn't doing anything but trying to kick his leg. And Sean O'Malley was like, okay, cool. I'm just going to hit you with a 1-2 over the top and knock your lights out. And that's exactly what happened, man. I mean, second round, I think it was, he got him out of there. Beautiful knockout. And listen, I mean, Sean O'Malley, you talk about aura farming. This guy is the ultimate. Or go back and watch that knockout, Alex, when you get a chance, of Sean O'Malley over Ayman Zahabi, because literally you can tell he pre-planned his celebration. Okay. He knocked out, like he hit him with a right hand, and as Ayman Zahabi was like falling to the canvas, Sean O'Malley's already celebrating. He's doing like a salute to the crowd, and like it's like a walk-off KO. It was iconic to see. You got to watch it. You got to watch it. It was crazy. But that was a great fight. And then after that, you had Poatan, Alex Pereira taking on Cyril Gane. I picked Cyril Gane to win this fight, and Cyril Gane won this fight. I mean, Poatan, he looked a little bit stuck in the mud at heavyweight. You know, this was his first fight at heavyweight, and it really didn't go his way, because Cyril Gane is not the type of fighter who is going to collapse under, you know, any sort of like like you're not just gonna like put Cyril Gane's lights out. He's fought the likes of Francis Ngannou, Tom Aspinall, and still didn't get knocked out. So it was just wasn't gonna be easy for Alex Pereira to go in there and just land his patented left hook and get him out of there like he does with so many people. So hopefully Poatan comes back to heavyweight, but that's definitely another one I would check out, Alex. But then the main event, Ilia Topuria against Justin Gaethje. Nobody gave Justin Gaethje even a fighting chance, right? He was probably like a plus 500 or plus 600 underdog, and he went out there and he reminded everybody exactly why he got this title shot. Because a lot of people were like upset, Justin Gaethje, he's been around for so long. Like, why are we still giving this guy a title shot? Because he's damn good. He's super durable. And like, even when he loses, because he's lost his fair share of fights in the UFC, he doesn't go on like losing streaks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he always kind of puts his name back into contention, after a few fights. So he deserved the title shot, and he went in there and he showed Ilia Topuria that, hey, look, man, you're not invincible. You're not invincible. Because Ilia went into that fight, Alex, thinking like, hey, look, man, like, I'm the chosen one, right? Like, all I got to do is just put my hands on him, and just like everybody else, all the other 17 guys I fought, he's just going to go to sleep. Once I touch him, he's going to go to sleep. And he said first round. Ilia Topuria said that all week. It's like, first round, man, I'm knocking you. I'm telling you, like, just like everybody else, I already got this rose next to your name. I've already changed my Instagram bio to 18-0. All that, man. And then like and Justin Gaethje said something very interesting leading up to the fight, Alex. He told Ilia Topuria, he was like, listen, man, like, you're talking all this shit now, but like, what's going to happen when, it's round 2, right? And I'm still there. What's going to happen when it's round 3? You're going to go like, oh shit, to yourself. And you'll be like, this guy's still here. And it's going to be a wake up call. And that's exactly what happened. It was crazy, Alex. But Ilia Topuria, he almost won the fight in round 2. It was a crazy back and forth affair. Alex, definitely go watch that one too. Not really back and forth, but like, that second round, Ilia Topuria did look like he was about to finish Justin Gaethje, but definitely watch that fight. Overall, great night of fights, man. Definitely the best fight card that I've ever seen, personally. But yeah, man, great night of fights. Great night of fights.
Great weekend of sports, I'll tell you that right now.
Indeed.
It's going to be a fun summer. It's going to be a fun summer.
Yeah, we got 6 more weeks until Ravens football is back. 6 more weeks, right? So make sure you stay locked in. Listen, nothing's changing here. Nothing's changing here. We're still putting out Ravens content damn near daily, so make sure you stay locked into PRP by hitting that subscribe button. Also, liking this video and hyping this video if you're part of the replay gang. I think that's going to just about do it here on this episode 415 of PRP. Again, thank y'all so much for coming through. Live chat, replay gang, all of y'all. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And with that being said, I'm going to let my guy Alex take us on out of this one.
Thank you for coming through to episode 415 of the Purple Rain Podcast. We love you. We appreciate you. And as always, stay positive and test negative.
Yes, yes, yes. And never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. And as always, may purple rain.